Well, that was a wild one. Mets win, baby. 9-6 over the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park to wrap up the series against them. Of course, this was definitely a higher scoring game than the past two were. And the Mets offense finally showed what they're capable of doing. Well, most of the lineup, because some guys were hitless today. Mainly, you had three batters in a row that couldn't even get one hit in this game, which was very unfortunate. But the bullpen had a meltdown again. Well, some of the guys in the bullpen had a meltdown again, so it did get a bit shaky at times, but the Mets still held on to win this game, 9-6, thankfully. Before we dive further into the game, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. We recap every single Met game here on the channel, as well as turn the notifications on so you know when I upload these videos. But let's dive into it. As to set the stage here, you got Max Scherzer versus Aaron Nola. And things got hectic for both of them within the first inning. You have Nimmo, who walks on 5 pitches. He was up 3-0 in the count. Nola then got a strike, and then he ended up walking there. Lindor then flew out, and Marte hit into a double play. As easy as it sounds, Nola definitely struggled at times in the first two at-bats. His pitch count didn't get too high, but he was not locating the zone too well. But overall, he gets out of it. And then for Scherzer's side of it, it was definitely a lot more complicated than the side was for Nola, as Schwarber walks to lead off. Realmuto then popped out to right. Harper then walked, and then Castellanos walked. The bases were loaded, so yeah, Scherzer couldn't find the zone early, but then Segura all of a sudden strikes out on a disgusting inside changeup pitch from Max Scherzer, and then Didi grounded out to first base to end the inning. So his pitch count was at 30 after that, but he did get out of the bases loaded jam, which was huge, absolutely huge. To get out of the first inning without giving up a run with the bases loaded and 1 out, yeah, you take that any day of the week. Second inning, Alonso struck out looking on 3 pitches. Escobar then walked on 4 pitches, so a bit weird from Nola there to strike out Alonso on 3 pitches and then walk a guy the next at bat on 4 pitches. Dom then struck out looking, and then Canna popped out, or my bad. No, yeah, he popped one out to first base in foul ground. That's why I don't know why I read that weird. But Camargo then struck out for Scherzer's side. He definitely had an easier bottom second frame. Stott then was gunned out at second after hitting one down the first baseline. I don't know why he even attempted to go for second there, but Starling Marte with the cannon, and Buck Showalter said he wanted Marte at right field so he could, since he has the better arm, the stronger arm, and that definitely paid off there. And then Veerling struck out on a fastball, so quick work there from Max Scherzer. Third inning, McNeil grounded out to second. Then Nito struck out. Nimmo, though, how about him with a home run in his second straight game? Who knew he had some pop? But at the end of the day, Citizens Bank Park is a bandbox, which that home run that he hit last night, I would say, was probably a product of Citizens Bank Park. But this one, he definitely crushed the center field. 1-0 Mets. And Lindor then struck out that end of the inning. So Scherzer then went to work with a lead. And Schwarber, he popped out in foul ground at third. Realmuto then struck out on a disgusting slider. Scherzer's slider, oh my God, just chef's kiss is just so beautiful. And Harper popped out the center. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Max Scherzer there. Fourth inning definitely was hectic for both sides, and that's where you knew this game was going to be a longer game. This game ended up being like 4 hours or something. It was 4 hours and 4 minutes to be exact. There you go. This was a long game. I was sitting on my couch all day, and it's time to do it for the Rangers after who are playing the Flyers, coincidentally enough. But to go back to the Met game, which is what we're here for, Marte, he gets a grounder to Didi Gregorius, who couldn't get the throw in time, so he was safe at first. Alonso then got an RBI double down the left field line, so Marte scoring all the way from first. 2-0 Mets. Escobar then walked on a full count, so it looked like there was some trouble here for Nola, and that didn't continue as Dom struck out looking, but then it did continue as Canna got hit by a pitch, which loaded the bases up, and then McNeil was hit by a pitch on the wrist right after, and it ended up being 3-0 Mets, and that was it for Aaron Nola. He was done after only 3 1/3 work of an inning, and that brought in Seranthony Dominguez again, and this is where I was a bit confused. He had the bases loaded with 1 out, and Tomas Nido still hit. Yeah, it was only the 4th inning, so maybe Maybe you didn't want to go to your bench there early. You wanted to give McCann the full day off. But in my opinion, you have a chance to blow the game open. You got to pitch hit Nito there, who hits it to a double play, unfortunately. But I thought that was a perfect opportunity to break the game open. So I was a bit confused as to why they didn't have a pitch hitter there. I guess they didn't trust anyone on the bench. I'm not sure, but it is what it is as we go to the bottom frame of the fourth. Castellanos, he started off with a double to center field. Segura then hit one just foul, which stopped him from driving in a run. Segura then was safe at first on a grounder to short. Runners were on the corners with no outs. Lindor couldn't get a throw over. Didi then struck out on a fastball. Camargo then struck out on a gross low slider that Scherzer had going for him. And then Stott with an oppo field single over Lindor's head, and that made it 3-1. And then Vierling popped out the second. And I loved the fire and the energy from Max Scherzer after he let up that run. He was pissed. And it was only one run, and that was the only run he let up for the whole game. But he was not happy. And I found that it's so fun to watch this guy. I'm so glad he's a Met still. It's still unbelievable. Fifth inning comes around. Nimmo strikes out to start it. Lindor then hit a rocket of a double to right field. Marte then struck out. He's been having a bit of a rough day. He had a bit of a rough day today. He's been going through a bit of a rough stretch. He picked it up a bit later in the day, but overall, he's been having it a bit rough. Alonso then with a double to about left center field, around there in that region, and that drove Lindor in, and it made it a 4-1 Mets lead. Alonso had himself a day at the dish because he wasn't done there. Dominguez then was out for Jones. Escobar, he walked there. Then Dom was hit on the elbow. Bases were loaded again. Hannah struck out, though, on an inside fastball, and that got them out of the jam. So the Phillies caught another lucky break there with the bases juiced. And then Scherzer, in his last inning of work, he made things quick as he struck out Schwarber on another gross slider. Again, that slider he had going for him all day. Real Muto then hit one to center field, but didn't matter because Harper flew out to left field right at the fence. You were scared that that one was going to go out. And then Castellanos popped out to first. Inning ended there, and that was going to be it for Max Scherzer, who finished the day with 5 innings of work, allowed 5 hits. He had 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So if he didn't have to work out of that jam in the first inning, maybe he pitches 7 innings, which would have been nice to see, but unfortunately that happened. Then the 6th inning was very eventful for both sides here. Starts off with McNeil flying out to left. Nito then got a single up the middle. Nice to see him get a hit. And Nimmo then walked. Brogdon came in for Jones. Lindor ground 1 to second. The out was only made at second. Lindor was safe there at first. And then Marte with a hit up the middle. Nito scored. Lindor went to third. That made it a 5-1 Mets lead. And then Pete Alonso broke the game open as he hit an opposite field blast. I can't talk. And it made it 8-1 Mets. And that broke the game open. You thought at least. And then Escobar flew out the left. But this is the Mets. You can't feel safe with any lead. You just can't. They could be up 20-0, 30-0, 100-0. You don't feel safe. Reed Foley comes in for Scherzer. Segura gets drilled to the hand, and he had to leave the game for Alec Boehm, who gets a standing ovation again on back-to-back days. Didi then walked, and you knew something smelled funny. You knew trouble was coming. And then Camargo fouled one. I cannot talk right now. I guess it's been so much talking these past few days with the Mets and the Rangers that I'm all over the map right now. I'm sorry, guys. Camargo, though, fouled one. That was originally ruled a double and a 2-run RBI. Thankfully, that got called back. And they left a dirt mark there, so I don't know how that was called fair in the first place, but sure, whatever. Stott then ground out to first. Ground out to first. Can't talk. And that brought the runner in. So 8-2 Mets, but you do getting out there. Vierling then grounded out the short, but a run came in there. 8-3 Mets. Then Joely Rodriguez came in for Reed Foley, and then Schwarber struck out on a gross slider there. We go to the 7th inning. Alvarado came in for Brogdon, and of course Dom Smith was at the plate because naturally that happens. He struck out though on 3 pitches, so Alvarado got the better of him there. Hannah then grounded out to short, and then McNeil grounded out. Quick 1-2-3 inning, the first one for the Phillies of the day, and the only one that it ended up being. Then for the Phillies, Real Muto and Harper walked to start the inning, and Ottavino came in. Rodriguez, yikes, just yikes with him. Castellanos with a double to left field, runners on second and third with no outs, and it became an 8-4 lead. And then Bohm with a sac fly, and all of a sudden it's 8-5 Mets. And yep, Didi then popped out to shallow left. Lindor caught that one. Camargo then with a hit up the middle, but McNeil fields it to stop the runners, so bases were loaded there. And then Stott flew out to right field, and that ended the inning. We go to the 8th. Falter came in for Alvarado. Nito flew out to center. Then Nimmo struck out looking. Lindor then walked, and then Marte flew out, so quick work there. Lugo then came in for Ottavino, and Lugo had a bit of a shaky outing, which was weird because he had a 1-2-3 inning, but his changeup was not good at all. His pitches were not, he was not executing the pitch as well at all. It was a shaky inning, but he did get through it in a 1-2-3 order. 9th inning, Alonso grounded out to short. Then Escobar got a triple, and that could have been ruled a home run, but they didn't. Fan interference. The fan dropped his glove on the field, apparently. You can't catch the baseball, even though you're going to interfere with it. All right, sure. He got his glove back, by the way, if you were interested. Dom then got a sac fly to left field, and that made it 9-5 Mets there. And then Canna grounded out to third. Diaz then came in, and of course Harper gets a home run opposite field to left field, and that just got out of here. I don't know how many ballparks that's a home run in, but that was a bit of a weak home run, not gonna lie. Castellanos then struck out on a gross slider, which Diaz, his sliders looked lively, and that was something that he lacked in 2019, which is why he was completely dog shit that year. So it's nice to see the slider come alive right now. Bohm then popped out to right field, and then Didi grounded out back to Diaz. Game over. Mets win. Put him in the books. Runners in scoring position, the Mets were 3 for 8. The Phillies were 5 for 15. Left on base for the Mets, 7 for the Phillies, 9. In terms of the stat line for Reed Foley, 2/3 of an inning. He allowed 2 runs there, no strikeouts and 1 walk. Rodriguez, in his a third of an inning, he allowed 2 runs and 2 walks with 1 strikeout. Ottavino, he allowed 2 hits. He didn't get charged with a run, though, so his ERA is still at a flat 0. And then Lugo, he had 2 strikeouts despite struggling, but he had a perfect inning there. And then Diaz, he allowed, of course, the 1 run, but he had 1 strikeout, and he made some good work there. In terms of the lineup, Dom, Canna, and McNeil, none of them got hits today. I'd like to see them pick it up a bit, especially Dom. Dom has not looked good at all, which is weird because he had a good spring, but he struck out 3 times. Rough day for him. Canna, he started off very hot, and now he just can't hit for whatever reason, but interesting. Escobar just getting on base nonstop with these walks. Alonso, definitely the player of the game. 5 RBIs, 3 knocks for him, and he struck out once. He had a great game. Lindor had a solid game as well. He only had 1 hit, but I still thought that he was good. He walked a bit too. Charlie Marte with a bit of a better game as well. And then Nimmo, he has been looking great to begin the year. Nito, decent game for him at the plate. And who am I missing here? I guess I'm not missing anyone. But for the Mets to control, lock down that Phillies lineup the way they did, especially Bryce Harper. Harper, aside from that 1 home run, he was quiet all series. For the Mets to do that, that's important. And that says a lot about their pitching staff this year. But the bullpen does need to improve. They come back to Citi Field Friday to play the Diamondbacks for the home opener. So let's hope that they look good there. It's probably going to be Chris Bassett on the mound. So we'll have to wait and see how that one goes, but it's going to be nice to have a bit of a break here. Thank you guys so much, though, for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's go, Mets, baby.